On this video, we're going to talk about apps for my brain. Let me explain. Hi, I'm artist, DJ, and author Michael Joseph, and on this episode, we're going to talk more about the apps that I use to be creative, and specifically, this video is going to be about apps that I use for my brain, and I don't mean apps to calm myself down and things like that. These are apps that I use for taking notes and different things like that. Now, what I may suggest in this video might be different than what you like to use, but it kind of hopefully is going to encourage you to use something that works for you. So I'm very much into the digital stuff, but if you're into taking notes on paper and stuff like that, go that route. But at least think about putting all of your notes into one notebook, something that you carry around with you. Like for me, I use the app OneNote. It's a Microsoft app, and there are a lot of apps out there that work the same way, that work as like a digital notebook, that have little tabs and sections, so you can have a section on stuff for ideas and a section for something about work. And that's kind of how I use OneNote. I have different tabs for different things, and each of those tabs have pages with stuff on them. Now, couple of the reasons why I like OneNote, again, I like the digital, so if you like the paper, that's great. But the reason why I like the digital and why I like OneNote is there are a couple things that are essential to me in doing this. One is voice to text. I use voice to text on everything. So when I'm making notes or writing something, it's usually me speaking it and it's going into there. The other thing is that I use pens to do a lot of notes and drawings and ideas, both in the tablet and on my phone. And with OneNote, it allows you to not only access this stuff on a computer or on your phone, but you can both use a pen on your phone or a tablet, and you're able to draw and keep notes that way. The other thing about OneNote I like is that there is an extension that you can put on your browser. So if you get to a page that you want to look at later, it's one click and it throws that page into a page in your notebook so you can go look at it later or just whenever you get a bunch of time. The idea is that I'm able to take notes and ideas down quickly. And again, if you do it with paper or whatever, that's fine, but work something into your life like this to where all your little creative ideas that come and go quickly, write them down, because there are so many little things I've gone back and looked at and said, holy crap, that was a great idea. I'm glad I wrote that down. Now, the second thing that I use for tracking, and this is more of scheduling and tracking to do, and again, use anything you want, but I break mine down into month, and then there is a day and week. So I'm using Google for all of that tracking. So I'm using the Google Calendar to track the month, and I do two calendars. One calendar is my events and stuff that I do, whether it's DJ events or speaking events or stuff like that. And the other one is personal, and that's where I'll put like a doctor's appointment or, such and such is happening this day and that sort of thing. So there are two calendars in my Google Calendar that I use constantly like that. And then I use Google Tasks like a Kanban board. And if you know what a Kanban board is, it's basically columns, and each column has a header, and it could be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or working on, done, needs work, and you're able to take these little tasks and move them around. And that's kind of the way I work this, is that I have my weekly days that I have, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on, and then I have a next week, and then I have a for the month. So I'm able to take these little jobs and go, nope, I want to do this tomorrow, or I want to save this for next week, or sometime this month it has to be done. So I'm using the Google Task Calendar for the month, but I'm also using the task tracker in Kanban mode to move little itty bitty tasks around. So we're taking from the notes that I did at the full beginning with OneNote to my monthly tracking, to my weekly and daily tracking, to a very, very, very long-term tracking. And it is an app called Daylio, Daylio, and it is basically a journal. And I set a little reminder, and each day I put an entry in there, and I can put, how I feel that day by doing a little smiley face or whatever, things like that. But it basically becomes a long-term tracker of things that I can look back at. And as of today, I'm well over 2,500 days of continuous tracking. So I can look back and see where I was at and what I was doing on certain days. And that's kind of the importance of all these mind trackers that I'm trying to explain to you, is that you need to have systems in order that you don't have to think. When you get an idea, you can just boom, put it there, put it there, put it there. So for long term is Daylio, and that is tracking every single day, some sort of note talking about the day, how I feel, something that happened, something like that. I'm looking at the whole mindset done with OneNote, and that is kind of like my notebook for everything. and then Google Calendar for the month, and Google Tasks for the week and individual days. So whatever way works for you, I just want to encourage you that as you're being creative, it's important to take notes on these things. You as a creative are going to have a lot of ideas, and it's very important to hold on to them and to look back at them in the future when you maybe have a day when things aren't clicking so well. You can look back and grab an idea and run with it. So there are my ideas of apps and stuff that I use for my creative brain. I hope that helped. Again, drop your comments down below of different apps and things that you use. I always like to try new things. I'm always trying new things, so I'm always looking for new stuff. So feel free to drop it there. But as always, until next time, take care of yourself, and more importantly, take care of each other, because it is a crazy world out there. God bless.